What's up, guys? It's James back again. And as you might have heard, YCS Vegas was a bit of a clusterfuck. Now, I apologize for not making this video right away. I kind of needed some time to process what had happened because this story definitely involves me and my team from the event. But as some of you may have heard, there were a lot of kind of questionable things going on at this event. A lot of other kind of allegations of cheating, and multiple people have kind of had just weird experiences. Like even right now, if you go on YouTube, you can quickly see there's like all these videos, like the cheating problem at Vegas, what happened at YCS Vegas, all these videos, just the winner admits to cheating. I'm not even here to say whether these things are true or not, but clearly there was just some issues. Like, I think that's we can agree upon that. But where this all starts for me is, when the event is announced, I wasn't really planning on going, and the only thing that really got me to go was my friend Marcus, who I ended up teaming with, who was on the channel multiple times at this point, teammate, etc. Probably the person I talked to about Yu-Gi-Oh! The most. And he hit me up with the idea that he would play GOAT, I would play Edison, and Hansei Aguero, his friend, would end up playing Tengu. And now I know Hansei a bit. He's a great player, and he actually ended up playing in the main event and getting second. We'll get to that in a moment. But he also won nationals during Tengu clan era, basically, like a couple months before, but still about the same. So we thought kind of basically like, who better, who could we get actually better than this guy? So we were happy to team with him, and I thought this really gave us a great shot at doing well at the event. I've kind of been on a hot streak. Marcus is a great player. We got 3 great players. How could we lose? So I booked my trip and decided to make it out there. Now, in between all this, Hansei thought he couldn't go, so we ended up finding a third player, Marcus's friend Bronte, who was down to play the agent deck and play Tengu and test with us. Hansei did end up going and did play the main event with Pac and Team Sam, and they got second. There's the great feature match where Team Sam says "goddamn" or whatever, and they get a game loss. I don't really fully understand that situation, but it also seems like part of the clusterfuck of YCS Vegas mishaps. But for us personally, we get there and we play the tournament on Saturday, and it's my first 3v3, so that was just a cool experience in general. I want to say throughout all this, like, I'm not really trying to rag on anyone, even the judges, even the opponents that are gonna make some appearances in this story, but it was still a fun experience to go to Vegas. I'd never been before, and to play this 3v3, but I think you'll see what I mean in a moment. So we play day one, and we do pretty well. We start 5-0, played against a couple YCS champions, a true hero. I played against him, Oscar Zelaya from Team Legacy. I like his content, shout out to him. But I was not doing particularly great myself, but the team was doing good. We were winning the matches we needed to win, so we were 5-0. We get matched up round 6 against a team that also made top cut, and look, I win game 1, right? And when I can tell you that after I side, I draw my opening hand, six cards, all purple, all traps. And immediately I thought back, I'm like, what just happened here? Because this is not very normal. I've played a lot of matches. I've played hundreds, thousands of tournament matches, and I don't think I've ever really experienced this. And there are certain things you learn as you play all these IRL tournaments that maybe online players don't really know about. And it's just how to keep your guard up and watch people and understand what people are doing. You kind of read between the lines on that one. But I realized that because it's a 3v3 event, when we had been siding and shuffling our decks and stuff, I had been talking to Bronte and trying to talk through his match and give some advice on his plays. And so I took my attention off my opponent. And while I have no definitive proof, what I do have is, I drew about 6 straight traps, and then the top 2 or 3 cards were also traps. So I swiftly lost that game. And then Game 3, I paid a lot more attention, and I would say I drew a averagely bad hand. Like, I don't think there was any foul play going on in Game 3, but I did lose. And I was pretty annoyed. But worst of all, I talked to my teammates after the match, and I said, hey, I think it just happened to me. Like, did y'all experience anything weird? Or, like, what was going on with you? And Marcus says, yeah, I opened triple Gravekeeper Spy. Bronte says, yeah, I opened multiple Shine Ball. I go to talk to the guys who played in the prior round. I was like, do you guys notice anything weird, like, in your deck or whatever? They're saying, yeah, we opened multiple Tengus. Like, they all drew horrible. So, you know, who's to say? But I have my suspicions, and I think everyone at the event knows who I'm talking about and can sort of confirm some of these stories. But that's not even the main point. That's what's so messed up. We lose that round, and we go on, we play the next round. We were pretty sure we were locked for top cut anyway, although there was kind of a stressful moment where we lost round 7 as well, so we finished 5-2. We make day 2, we sneak in at 7th, you know, praise be. But we come back for day 2, and first round we're playing against Calvin DeHaan's team. And, you know, I don't really know Calvin personally. We've had a few interactions online, but obviously he's a known name in the Yu-Gi-Oh community and done pretty well at some YCSs and such. He's teaming with, I believe his name is Mickey Reardon, I want to say the guy's name. And I don't know the third player, apologies to you. But we hadn't really been watching them too much day 1, but I was pretty sure my opponent was on Frogs, and I sit down, I play my match, and this match went normally. Again, I really want to be clear as I'm getting into this that, you know, there's certain things that I might have an opinion on, but at the end of the day, I don't really think these guys did a lot wrong, you know? I don't want to be coming at them. I don't want you guys in the comments or whatever to rail on them, but just listen. So I lose my match very fast. He's playing like a classic Frog Monarch, which can kind of eat value for breakfast. I didn't draw very well, and who knows, maybe I played bad too, whatever. I lose pretty fast. And so I'm watching Marcus's match. Marcus is very experienced at GOATs, and so I just kind of let him do his thing. And he's about to win against Calvin. So we win our GOAT match. And this turns our attention, both me and Marcus, to our third player, Bronte, who's playing Tengu, and he's playing an Agent Mirror match. So they're in game 3, and it's been, you know, a complicated game. And I actually happen to have the game state right here pulled up. So what happens is we get to a point where we're not really close to time or anything, but we it's a very developed game state, and we basically have a very good hand that we could potentially kill him. And I'll show you what I mean, because I recreated it on DB. Because I'm a freak like that. So look here. So this is me just sculpting the hand that I'm meant to have. I didn't fully do the opponent's hand because it doesn't really matter. All that matters is he has a Max C and a Herald. So this is our hand. It's post board, game 3, like I said. So we have Leeching the Light, which is a hugely powerful card, can boost all our monsters by the attack of one of the light monsters on the field, and just deal a lot of damage. Our opponent's at 4,500. We're at 4,000 or something. It doesn't really matter. So there's obviously a ton we can do here, and what we decide to go for is starting off by summoning Venus. And now he Max Cs, and he didn't have the Herald yet. This is just me making it easier for myself. But while in a normal game state, you might think to draw this out, you know, we saw a game shot and we just thought we had to go for it. And giving him more time might just let him OTK us. We don't have any defense really in this hand. So we go for this play where, you know, obviously we're giving him a ton of draws. I might have missed a few draws, whatever. So we make Brio. Maybe you can see where this is going. We activate our Leeching, and that boosts all our guys. Crucially, Brio goes to 43. We pitch 2 fairies, which, you know, gives us 4 engrave, and we summon Christia. Now, I was told by someone in the stands that the card he actually drew off the Max C draw for the Christie summon was the Herald. He didn't have any other hand traps prior to that. That's a little unfortunate, because the whole thing here is we're trying to secure a game shot through Gores and Trag and any other hand traps that he might have. That's really like our main objective, because if he's drawn so many cards, if he gets a chance to crack back, then we're probably going to lose. So we summon our Christia, it gets heralded, and now we're sitting there with an empty board. We basically have to go for game, like we said, and it's 3 of us talking. Now, if you ever play a 3v3, you're allowed to talk to your teammates. You can kind of advise each other on plays as long as, the other team can hear what you're saying. And, we start going back and forth like, all right, so what's Brianak's attack? 43? I think maybe I even made a mistake. I said, oh, is it 47 attack? Like I was getting the boosts confused. And we're talking about the attack, and Bronte, obviously a high pressure situation. There's a huge crowd around us. This is match point. It decides whether we move on to top 4, which is quite a good prize, or fail out in top 8. So we're sitting there. Bronte has the card in his hand, and he's talking to me and Marcus, and he's saying, so like, should I just attack? Like, what should I do? And we're trying to think if we have another play, which, spoilers, we do. And the opponent during this says, no, it's not game, it's 43. It's not 47 attack. And to which Bronte says, oh, well, we can just make Gotchi, which, would boost the Brio up to 47. It would give him another draw, but it would basically give us a chance to one-shot him and probably win the game. So Bronte goes to do that, goes to stack the shine balls, and meanwhile, the opponent, cuts us off and says, hey, hold on, you guys attacked. I thought you were in battle. And we said, no, we were talking about attacking. We were debating the attack values, but we did not declare any attack. And an important feature of this too is the player himself playing has to declare the attack. Like, you can't, from player B, be like making actions for them. Like, they have to handle the cards, they have to do the thing. We never entered battle, we never had a change of phase, and this was the beginning of the dispute. So as I said, the opponent says, hey, you guys already attacked, you're already in battle, you can't make Gotchi. We say we did not attack, we did not enter battle, we are still in main 1, and obviously the judge gets called. And so the judge listens to both sides, and one of the first things he says is, well, I heard you guys attack, which we didn't do. And later on, after all this, the judge says, oh yeah, I misheard, and I heard from many people that he was sitting there on his phone. So there's a whole other element to this too that I don't want to get into too much, but yeah, he seemed a little bit confused, if I'm being honest. And then we appeal this ruling, and because he already had basically decided that we were going to declare an attack, and we get a different judge over, right? So we get the head judge of the private events, or whatever, I don't know, whatever his role is. And so he comes over and he starts listening to both sides of the story. We're explaining, and it's pretty calm at this point. It's a tense situation for sure, but no one's being aggro or rude or anything. I think we're all pretty calm under pressure. Again, shout out to the other team. But they're claiming we enter battle, which we directly believe we did not do. And so as the other judge, the head judge that came over, is discussing the situation, he starts to basically make his ruling that we are in battle and we need to declare an attack. He just hears out both sides of the story. It's very much a he said, she said situation, although there's a lot of people watching the match and in the audience, etc., that were kind of weighing in and saying that we didn't declare an attack and this whole thing was made up, whatever. But as he gives that ruling, we're told by a friend in the crowd that, we're pretty sure that this guy, the judge himself, is on a team or co-owner of a team with some of the players that we're playing against. And so, first of all, when this got brought up, I'm not a conspiratorial person. I like conspiracy theories, but I'm not a conspiratorial person. Like, I like to believe in the good in people, etc. So I'm not thinking that this guy's giving me like a biased, like crooked ruling. I'm not thinking we're getting like cheated like that. That's kind of what Marcus is starting to say, but I'm like, chill, like, let's not even like pursue that. Like, let's just like deal with the ruling as it is. And so but we say this, Marcus says this, like, aren't you on a team with them? Like, isn't this like, corrupt or something? And as soon as that happens, more or less, he leaves and, asks if we're going to continue. He leaves and brings back the head judge of the main event, assistant head judge or something. And this guy starts talking, and one of the first things he says is that, hey, this previous judge has recused himself. He's let himself off from this ruling because he has a relationship with the players, or he suspects you. And so just the fact that, first of all, that is the case, I guess. Like, he admitted that he has some relationship with the player, but he only recused himself upon us finding that out is very, very sus. Very sus. Like, and so that was crazy already. And so basically the judge was like, let's just start from square one. Like, you guys explain both sides and we're explaining it. There's many facets to this of, not entering the battle. Bronte has his hand on the card, and if I'm going to be honest, I can see why they might think that we have entered battle and attacked, that we did some kind of forward motion. I understand in Yu-Gi-Oh! If you do some big swing with your hand, that constitutes an attack, even if you don't verbally say declare attack. I understand that. We did not do that. He was handling the card as you would normally handle a card, and again, the prior judge has given us all sorts of things like, what motion did you do? It's like, dude, if I want to flip my card in the air and grab it, like, I can do whatever I want. It's their interpretation of what I'm doing, at least in a gray area like this, is not really my responsibility. So very conveniently, again, they have chosen to interpret our actions as something that would lose us the game. I don't know, like, maybe in their position I might have tried to do the same thing, I don't know. But all I'm saying is, this second judge comes over, third judge really at this point, and he's hearing out both sides, and we're making all the same points we've been making, that we didn't enter battle, we're talking amongst ourselves, we're debating the damage, they corrected us, and now we have a different action in main one. And he just was hearing out both sides. Their argument was like, we thought they declared an attack. And during all this also, and this is honestly one of the only things that I feel like weirds me out about what they were doing, is the opponent said, they're talking to the judge and they're saying, yeah, we heard them say declare an attack. And this is the first time they said that in this entire argument. Obviously, if that were the case, then it would just be clear cut. But we say, yo, you never heard that. Like, we never said that. And he just says, oh, you're right, my bad. Like, which is insane. Like that is insane. Like, to me, if I were the judge, this seems like a major red flag of someone kind of like changing their story or just saying anything. But through all this, at the end of all this, the judge says, hey, I've heard both sides, and I believe you guys are in battle. You have to continue to declare an attack with Brio. You cannot make gachi. And needless to say, we are very upset by this ruling. There have been a number of just like crazy phrases thrown around through all this. I think from the prior judge, he says, well, since you guys were talking about damage and talking about attacks, I think you are in battle phase. That was literally what he said. Obviously, Bronte made the very quick argument of, if we're talking about entering the end phase, that doesn't mean we're in the end phase. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you can talk about whatever you want without committing to that action. So crazy stuff. Again, I can understand their perspective. I really do, but I do believe this was a very incorrect ruling to be given. And worst of all, the guy just seemed quite clueless. Like, I really got to be honest, the judge was not really like with it, because the whole situation, as you saw in the replay, we have no cards in hand, we have no other plays basically other than make the gachi. And so when he goes like, yeah, you guys have to declare the attack with Brio, and we're like, so you're making the play for us. Like, we don't have a choice here. Like, he's like, do you guys want to continue? And it's like, well, we have no other plays. What are you talking about? And he's like, and then he asks, well, do you want to do anything with priority on declaration of your attack? And it's like, dude, we have no cards. That's the whole like point of this whole thing. Like, we have no actions to take. And so that was just absurd. And honestly, we got up all upset and we basically left the venue shortly after with our hamster mats. This team loses right away in top 4, so whatever. Silverman goes on to win. Congrats to him. I heard he dealt with some of these other shady characters that we had encountered earlier, so appreciate that. But it was obviously left a very sour experience overall, the way that it ended up. And I really do feel it's an incorrect ruling. I mean, you guys tell me if you think this is ridiculous, if you think this is correct, or I'm dramatizing it, whatever. Like I started with, there's clearly a lot of weird stuff going on. I never want to blame too much on the judges because they are volunteers, but there's got to be sort of a responsibility to look a little deeper. And the thing about being on a team with the players, you know, whatever the validity of that is, like the fact that he admitted it is just crazy. It's crazy to me. And needless to say, that's how we lost. That's how we got knocked out of top 8. So in the deck profiles, if you can see me being a little annoyed, perturbed, that's probably why. And yeah, I mean, we still did great. We topped the event. I've topped many events in a row at this point, and it was good to play with the guys. I thought Bronte handled this whole situation like a champ. He was by far the calm one out of all of us. So really appreciate him. And, you know, like, I might have flown off the handle even different if it wasn't for these guys. Marcus was going crazy. Like, we were all going crazy. So, you know, we held it down, and we were able to have a good time with the bit of time we had left in Vegas, going to get some food and stuff. Had a good time there, and it was great to meet everyone that I did get a chance to meet. But obviously, it's hard to not think about like what could have been. You know, if we're in top 4, then we're almost guaranteed some prize card, because the giant card. Because even if we lose that match, then we play for 3rd, 4th, and if I got to be honest, I think we're a quite strong team, and we had a good chance of taking it all home. So this judge's decision, unfortunately, may have cost us multiple thousands of dollars. But more or less, that's the gist of what happened. I just thought I should elaborate because I don't want it to be like shrouded in mystery or, you know, just alluded to and kind of shady or something. But and it is, you know, at the end of the day, it's a story, and that's what we keep saying. Hey, we're gonna be able to look back on this and laugh. I'm not gonna stop going to events because of it. I might take some more precaution about how I declare all my stuff, especially against certain opponents. But at the end of the day, we're gonna keep coming, and we're gonna keep doing our thing. So I appreciate you guys for watching, and stay tuned. I got many, you know, Reverse the Limit, all that good series coming soon. So YCS Vegas, a little bit of a bust, but you know, it's in the past, and we're going to keep moving forward. So shout out to Marcus and Bronte for holding it down, and thanks guys. 1K subs soon. Peace.